Hello and welcome to Benvarmeren Breakdowns here for patch 7.13, the patch note. Finally I have time to do this, and I kind of missed it. I love doing these breakdowns, haven't been able to do so because of me being busy with my exams, as I said in my latest video in Benvarmeren Continuum. Now, however, it's all about Benvarmeren Breakdowns, so let's just get into it. Don't really care about honor, to be honest. I'm more interested in the champions. So first up, Galio. He has gotten his armor reduced, his Q tornado zone base damage reduced, and his ratio increased. Okay, so I like the idea about nerfing his armor because of him just being so dominant in the lane. But while that isn't exactly like the overall fix for him, I like that they also look at his tornado, because I feel like the tornado, the pushing power that he brought to the table, was the strongest part of about him, because he was always able to keep the lane not frozen, kind of making sure that nobody would really able to push against him. So the idea about reducing the damage in the early games and then making it like stronger the more the time goes on because of the increased radios is something I quite like, because it doesn't exactly take the like his strength away from him, but it does make him more vulnerable in the early games, if you can put it that way, because of him not having that extra push potential. Ignore mini Q damage increased to mega A jump range increased. So I also really like this. I haven't looked through the patch notes before, of course, but I like the idea about giving more power back to Gnar. Mainly because you have been focusing a lot on like 4 or 5 main top laners in terms of AD boosters. It's been Jarvan, Kled, and Renekton. And I like seeing Gnar in that spot. I feel like in a meta where Gnar isn't a viable option to go for in terms of getting a bruiser or just a tank, that's not necessarily a meta where I would want to be in, because I feel like if you can get everybody mixed into it, then that is the best possible outcome that you can get. And with Gnar getting some strength back, I feel like this will definitely make him more of a viable choice against the likes of a Renekton and a Jarvan, because of his boomerang throw getting more damage, and also his crunch on the Mega E, making it so that he can catch up to these boosters or get away easier. So like overall he gets more safety, but also more damage to try and fight against these strong boosters. And this is basically Kennen, who gets a W empowered attack bonus, now base plus AP and bonus AD radios. Hurricane no longer stacks W, E ratio increased. So nerfing AD Kennen, good idea. He's been such a dominant top lane pick in terms of split pushing. Hurricane is basically there because of him being an AD carry as well. We see him a lot in Fanatics games. And with the W being so strong, because when you go up in the top lane with Kennen, you go for attack speed, basically, so you can stack your W faster. And now with it being bonus attack damage instead of total attack damage, it's harder to be an AD Kennen and actually get a lot of damage out there, because you are like forced into building AD as well. Like you get from the beta you can get 25 AD if I remember correctly, and 60% of that is not a lot, because it's bonus attack damage again. Like his total attack damage doesn't count in, so you don't really get the attack damage from his runes, from the masteries on top of that. So you are more forced into trying to build more AD in order to actually be an attack speed cannon. And I do like this change, but also the E lightning rush, making so that he's still a viable AD choice, but AP is definitely still something you can go for if you want to, and that is a good idea in my opinion. But it will probably butcher him as a top laner, also as a AD carry, because there will just be better split pushers now, and better lane bullies. Like Lucian is still, sorry, not Lucian. Fiora is a better split pusher than Kennen, and Gnar, who we talked about earlier, is now a better bully than Kennen because of his attack range and the Q, obviously. Moving on, Kha'Zix Q damage decreased, but isolation bonus increased. R stealth duration increased. So, makes his, I'd assume that his clears in the jungle will be hit by this because the Q damage decreased, but overall his damage output when he finds an isolated target is even. Evens it out. So kind of makes him less of an assassin, more of a bruiser, because now he won't be able to assassinate people as efficiently because of him losing a bit of his AD damage. And obviously with him getting the R, the stealth duration increased, you get a bit more team fighting potential and capability, but overall just toning him down a little bit, which I don't feel like he needed that much. I felt like he was in a good spot, but definitely maybe needed a little bit of touching. Maybe I'm not quite sure. There are stuff like Elise and Lee Sin who probably needed the nerf more. Kindred passive increases range more often. W and E damage up. Just trying to get Kindred viable again. Honestly, I don't know what I want to make of this, because I'm not quite sure how you even balance out Kindred at this point. You obviously want to get Kindred back into the meta, but I do feel like Elise, Lee Sin, Kha'Zix will always be better than Kindred. I'm not quite sure. The Mark might be a way to go, but that's kinda RNG and not exactly the best possible way to go in my opinion. I don't know what we really want to do for Kindred to get it back. Maokai base health increased, R range increased, mana cost per level reduced. Well, base stats is fine. Could definitely need a little bit more tankiness. I mean, he's a tank, so giving him more tankiness might mean that he could come back. But then you look down, you take like your glasses off, your color glasses, and then you look at the change to Nature's Grasp, and you see that they only increase the range, and you think, why the fuck do you not increase the speed? The speed is the problem. Like, you're never going to be able to catch anyone with the speed of Nature's Grasp, and that's why nobody plays Maokai. Come on, right? Puppy, Q health ratio up. Yeah, sure. Just again, minor buffs to various tanks, trying to get them back into the meta. In order to get Poppy back, you probably need to give her a little bit more power back in terms of the W, more tankiness. I don't feel like the Q is the problem. Obviously, more damage to go up against Renekton, Jarvan, Kled is okay. So that's definitely one step in the right direction, but I do feel like she probably needs more tankiness as well to really go up against them. Vexai, Void Rush, AD radio increased. W on burrow speed standardized. So the W change is weird and should have happened like since forever. That should always have been there. The Void Rush is needed, I'd say. Like, she's not exactly in the spot where Riot wants her to be. They want her to be a bruiser, but she's not exactly a bruiser at this point. But also, of course, her ult is terrible in terms of getting to hit people with it. It's so hard to hit people with her ult. So maybe make it targetable, like point and click could be a way to do so as well. But I do like the idea of you giving her more AD, making her stronger if you're actually able to hit the ult, because right now I do feel like it leaves a mark, but it's definitely not like the booster assassin type of thing that they are aiming for with Rek'Sai. Shaco E base damage down, E scaling up at later levels, E damage now physical instead of magical, E execute per digging altered. Okay, so now deals up to 50% additional damage based on target missing health, physical. Yep. If you build like Shaco in a serious way, you go for the like, what is this? Where do it? Oh, that's my head. No, wait. Oh, that's the microphone. Sorry, I got I was a little bit annoyed by that one. So obviously, if you build Shaco in a serious way, you will usually go for the AD route. But in terms of AMAM, you will never be able to build AP anymore. But I do like the idea of giving it more physical damage. But I also like that you tone it down in terms of making it bonus attack damage, because that obviously as an eco, not as an eco, Shaco, you always focus heavy on AD, so making it bonus means that he'll deal a fair amount early on once he gets the warrior enchantment, but also later stages, into the later stage of the game, you'll still have a good punch. Trundle Q can damage turrets, W healing and regeneration, amp increased and applies more quickly. So in terms of the Q, again, this is just Riot focusing back if we're backtracking now, okay. Then Riot has been focusing a lot on tanks in this patch, and giving Trundle some ways of split pushing, like more split pushing power, is obviously a way to try and force the likes of a Jarvan, a Kled, and Necton. Like, I keep mentioning these picks because it is the typical AD champions you will see in the top of the side. I like the idea of giving him that Q because of him needing to be able to scale more, and with his R, the what's it called? It's called I know that when I see it, I'll know it for sure, 100%. Oh, the subject gate, yeah, of course. With the subject gate, you are already able to go up against Jarvan, Renekton, Kled because of the tankiness that they bring. So now just giving him more pushing power, because he's already strong with the Q, with the jump. Now with that extra split pushing power, you are now a viable choice if you want a tank split pusher and not a Fiora or Bruiser split pusher. And then obviously the Frozen Domain just gives him more life, healing and regen, meaning that he will also be able to go up against these champions. So I like that idea. I do really feel like Trundle might come in and be a viable pick in the next patch or so. At least if you perhaps tone down Jarvan or Renekton in the next patch. I don't feel like Kled needs toning down. I feel like he's in a good spot, but it's all basically just Fiora and Renekton and Jarvan that are really, really strong in this current patch, or at least in this current meta. Abyssal Mask now builds from Catalyst of Aeons instead of Spirit Visage. So Abyssal Mask gives you AP, right? Abyssal. Nice, okay. Oh wait, I have it here. Alright. No, it gives you max resistance, okay. Catalyst of Eons is the tanky one for Rod of Ages. That makes good sense because now it gives you mana and health, so it makes good sense for you to go up with the Catalyst of Eons instead of the Spirit Visage. Like in terms of stats, it's just overall more smooth instead of having the Spirit Visage. No, sorry, not the Spirit Visage, the Spectral Scowl, which is basically it's not a lot of health and not a lot of mana, if I remember correctly. It's like Spectral Scowl. Spectral Scowl. Okay, it doesn't bring mana. Yeah, I thought so. So it only gives you mana. You don't really get health from Catalyst of Aeons or Negatron Cloak. So I like that idea of now having health coming from the action item, makes it more smooth and transitions it better into the Abyssal Mask. Don't like the new passive though. That's weird. Yeah. And that's Helm health increased. Yeah, no, that's not going to bring it into the meta. We'll make it stronger against the likes of a Casio or a Rumble, of course. Still, wait, what the hell? There we go. Alright, let me move it in here. Okay, so yeah, it will just make it stronger against the likes of a Casio or Rumble, stuff like that. Ancient coin gold rewards increased. Makes it easier to get the crest done, I guess. Seek convergence don't occur. Jungle items. Alright, so now with Runic Echoes, mana restored on proc, 15 missing health. That's a nice number. I don't know really what else to say. I'm not that much into how much you miss in terms of actual, like, how much you are going to. Alright, let me restart. I don't know how mana hungry you actually are in the jungle, so like just toning it down a bit to 15, and then taking the base mana region into the jungle onto the knives instead, making it more appropriate for the wider the jungle pool, if you can put it that way, the wider jungle pool, just making so that everybody gets the mana instead of just the ones focusing in on getting Runic Echoes. And Balmy Cinder, cost decreased, health decreased, monster damage increased. Like that idea, because you right now are not really able to play tanks in the jungle, so making your power spike in terms of the Balmy Cinder, it's not exactly a power spike, but just your clear speed with the Balmy Cinder, making that easier to get early on, is now more of a viable way of like actually having a strong early game as a jungler. So I like that change coming from the Balmy Cinder, making it so that the junglers can actually have that power spike early on while not being totally crazy in terms of health and well, basically just the health, sorry, and then obviously getting that bonus damage to non-champions means that they will also be able to actually clear early on, so just bringing power back into the into the hands of tank junglers. Rift Herald should be immediately more rewarding to the individual kills. Yeah, of course, like 25 gold is nothing, 100 gold isn't exactly nothing, but at least then you can afford a ward. Yeah, that seems to be it. Okay, hope you all enjoyed this video for patch 7.13, and of course, you know, follow me on Twitter, support me, whatever, if you want to, and I hope you will. I really do appreciate it quite a lot if you do, and I'll see you on the next episode.